Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurul Kurniati. I'm from TBA2. I'm the second speaker. I want to explain about Gaines type of learning. Michael James have eight types of learning. So the first one is signal learning. Signal learning, an individual learns to carry out general condition response toward a given signal. Usually, this response is emotional. So the example is when your teacher announces the examination, of course the student will feel afraid they will fail on this examination. And then when you are find a good stuff of your favorite stuff, you will feel joy, something like that. It's signal. And the second is stimulus response learning. Stimulus itu rangsangan, respon itu artinya respon. So when you stimulate something in your body will be responded. The example is when you cook something and the smell is good and your saliva is come out. Is the response. And the stimulus is when you smell something and your saliva will come out. It's stimulus response learning. The stimulus response learning is firstly developed by Skinner. The individual shows a certain response and discriminated stimulus. Nearly all examples of SR learning, including vocalization involving intentional motor behaviors. And the third and then is psychomotor connection learning or chaining, often called a skill learning from skill. Chaining or this type combine two or more units as are learning directly, like when you're writing, running, catching, throwing the ball. And then the connection is limited to the physical and non-verbal sequence. Preconditioning to stabilize the connection is that very SR bond has to be performed before building link. And then next is verbal association learning. One form association, but association between verbal and language learning. Naming an object is the easiest connection, like naming a alphabet and poems, like that. The first SR association involves the observation of the object, and the second SR association is achieved when the children name the object. The example is remembering the poems. When you remember the poems and then you formulate the poem or the alphabet in sequence. Individually, this learned behavior is not considered an important aim of learning. However, as hierarchical level, this association is the first step to more important higher level in this learning. So when you're remembering the poem and you learn the poem and then you formulate the poem and you know the alphabet. And then is multiple discrimination learning. At this level, a person learns different response to different stimulus. Because of this, he learns to identify or association which may be confused with object or phenomena resembling each other. Example, when you come to the class for the first time and you do not remember their name or you do not know them well, you will be confused, right? About who is this, who is that person, who is the name of the person, maybe in liquid or differentiating solids, liquid, and gases. Membedakan mana yang keras, terus itu mana yang seperti cairan atau gas seperti itu. And then is concept learning. Concept learning means learning to respond to a stimulus according to abstract characteristics such as position, shapes, color, number, and not according to concept physical characteristics. When a children want to learn about a shape like a block, maybe a circle, pyramid, something like that. And use this name for the object that are different in size, shape. Then he learned concept of cube. With this, he can identify a class of objects that differ in characteristics such as material, color, texture, and size. When children want to learn about shapes like a square and then circle like a ball, they will name and know the object. Oh, the shape is square. This shape is like a ball. It's like triangle. And then also, the children can identify the material, color, texture, and size. Oh, this ball size is just small as my hand. And the texture is hard. And the color is blue. The material is from the tree, something like that, or from the metal. This concept learning. Okay. Next is principle learning. Principle is a change of two or more concepts. In principle learning, one needs to associate more than one concept. Okay. The relationship of the circumference of a circle with its diameter. Three concepts, the circumference pi and diameter are related, identifying number of legs of classical invertebrate animal. So in this learning, people know about the relationship between three concepts between circumference, pi, and diameter are related. It's like identify an animal, number of legs of animal, and classify invertebrate animal, something like that. And then the next is problem solving. In this problem solving, a person uses principles that have been learned to achieve an aim. Besides achieve the aim, he acquires atau mendapat the skill to use his new knowledge, and in this time his skill is changed. He will be able to handle similar problem. What has been learned is higher or order principle that combines many low order principle. Example, experimenting the test the effect of different type of fertilizer and plant growth. This is problem solving. And then in here I have three: learn about transfer, inference, and overgeneralization. Transfer is like you learn from the other people, the other person. You learn something what they do, you learn something what they say, and you get a new information. Okay. And the second is interference learning. A previous item is incorrectly associated with an item to be learned. This is a negative one, incorrectly. And the third is overgeneralization. Derive a law, a rule, or conclusion usually from the observation. When you read something, you will get a rule or conclusion about you have read from the observation itself. So that's all from me. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.